So that's the people who I was thinking in the book actually realized this was a bigger problem. It was not just a problem in Latin America. It's not a problem just in the country of Africa. This is actually a problem that was happening right here in America. So 2019, I moved the company from Silicon Valley to Atlanta, Georgia, and we started building out the first digital bank that was really targeting the audience that we originally set out to target, which was an unbanked and an underbanked audience. Now, of course, over the last 2 years, that has grown. The company has grown. But I started Capway, I always think I started Capway because of Mississippi. Because of, I saw something that no one else could. From here in Mississippi. And I would sit at these tables, and their thought process and my thought process was totally different. While I'm a huge fan of innovation, I'm a huge fan of the Valley, I would sit at tables with people talking innovation, and their version of innovation was, we gotta build this drone to drop this package off of somebody's door within 24 hours. Then I would come back and say, well, then there's another problem because kids are not eating. People don't have access to bank accounts. There's a difference in the real world problems that they were talking about and that I was speaking of. And that actually became the beauty of what Capway has become. And even now, we are one of the fastest growing fintech companies that's available. Now, while my professional goal is, how do I get us to be a unicorn, which is a $1 billion company, my personal goal still comes back to why I started this company, which in the end, the roots of it come from being from Mississippi. So, Capway itself, we are a digital bank. You download our app, you go to our website, 2 or 3 minutes, you start a bank account. Now, why is that important? Because you have 25% of people in America, especially in the state of Mississippi, who is completely unbanked. And this next generation, especially Gen Z, they will never walk into a bank branch because that's just not what they know. Now, I'm a millennial, so I'm in the in-between. I rode my bike outside. The street light came on. I had to be in the house by a certain time. My nephew, who is Gen Z, I have to push him outside. Like, please, go outside. Because all he wants to do is play Fortnite. So I'm in the in-between, but this next generation, that especially for teachers that you're teaching, their mindset is different. How they look at tech is different. How they believe in digital is different. I always tell people that Gen Z is the most interesting generation I think we will have seen and will ever see. Because they don't just take a yes or no for an answer. They question things. They're rebellious. But actually in the best way possible. So once again, they're not going to be, hey mom, I want a bank account. Can you take me up to the local branch and open up an account? What they're going to do is take out their phone, probably Google digital bank or debit card, or go to Cash App or Venmo, and then that is their life. Well, then the other side of that, what we do at Capway, comes the financial education piece. Its data says, depends on what you're looking at, 2 out of 3 Americans can't pass a basic financial literacy test. And we've tested this. We've stood on corners, we've done surveys, we've asked what seems to be or should be basic questions. What's the difference between a debit and a credit card? What is APR mean? What is compound interest? Most people don't know the answer to those questions. And so what we did at Capway, which once again comes from what I knew growing up, was I can give you financial education, and we do. We have a full financial education program. 2022, we'll be making our way into schools in Houston, Texas, in Chicago. But what makes us different and why we have schools that come to us and work with us is because it's not that we just give you financial education. You should have that. That is great. But I want to make sure you have access and opportunity to put that education to use. So if I'm going to teach you about money, there's also a debit card that you're going to actually put that education to use. Now, the other key to that is that debit card that you get, there's no overdraft fees, there's no monthly fees, there's no minimum balance fees. But you are literally putting the education that we give you to work. And that was something that was super important for me. So whether we were talking to the Federal Reserve or whether we're talking to a school, we put emphasis on the fact that I can teach you all day. But if I give you education, I don't give you the tools to put the education to use. It's kind of a lost cause. But it's also opposite.
if I give you money, and I don't give you education on how to properly use the money, you've also seen that that doesn't work either. So for us, is how do we actually do both? And what would the result of that end up being? And one thing that we do at Capway that's been very, very important for me as a founder is the diversity piece of it. Once again, Gen Z, whole different generation. Millennials, we're caught in the middle. But at Capway, we have black, white, first gen, we have young, we have old. Because what I have noticed, and what data actually shows, it's not me, data shows the more diverse that people are together and coming up with ideas and coming up with solutions, actually the more money companies make, and the better the solutions are across the board. So the example of that is, now at Capway, we have a program that we call First Gen Money Mondays. It wasn't my idea, it wasn't my initiative, it was Viviana's. And Viviana's a first gen immigrant. And so what we've seen now is we've had a spike in people who bank with us. We've had a spike in people who want to learn more about how do I become more financially literate as a first gen immigrant. So that's the type of things that we do at Capway. And especially when we go into schools, once again, their mindset is totally different. So we don't come in with saying, you know, APR, here's the definition, good luck. We make it and we put it to use in ways that they actually understand. So whether we gamify it, whether we ask questions that doesn't seem like we're asking financial education questions. I'll give you an example. We might ask the question of, what is your dream car? Somebody gives an answer. Once you park it in your driveway, this beautiful $250,000 Lamborghini, favorite color, favorite car, how much is it worth? Most people will say $250,000. And then we let them know, this is actually what it's actually worth, and this is why it's worth it. This is what depreciation means. And so those are the type of ways that we talk and that we present the programs that we do. Timing has changed now, but a program that we did right before the pandemic was around shoes. We went and we said, hey, everyone in here who either has on Nikes or owns a pair of Nikes, stand up. Every time we did this, more than half of the room stood up. Cool, how much did you pay for those Nikes? I got different answers. Oh, my J's cost $220. My shoes cost $100. And it was, have you ever thought about investing? Yeah, I want to invest, but you know, that's for rich people. Can't do investing. I said, well, what if I told you that the same amount of money you paid for those Nikes on your feet, you could have bought a share of Nike? And it was like, I never even knew that I could do that. Like, I thought investing was strictly for rich people. Like, there was no way. I was like, well, you have 2 shares of Nike right there on your feet. And then the whole mindset changes. Because now you're talking to them in a way where it's not like, here's a program for financial literacy. This is your life. This is how it works. But once again, not only am I going to teach you how to do this, but here's the tool to actually put it to use. So for me, when we present these types of programs, when we're doing banking, we're getting to investing, we're getting to payments, literally, I get asked all the time. I literally had a conversation with Dan, who's the CEO of PayPal, 2 weeks ago. And he said, Sheena, the way you think, why do you think that way? And I said, Mississippi. Because while we have our bad sides, we all see it, we all know it. We all get told Mississippi is known, we're the last in everything great and we're first in everything bad. We've all heard it. But what I always tell people is what I see, particularly in fintech or in finance, financial education, banking, Mississippi is #1 for me in financial access and opportunity. Because there's nowhere for us to go but up. We are #1 for unbanked. We got to figure out how to get this next generation banked. And unfortunately, the truth is, they're not going to do it by walking to a local bank branch. Because that's just not what they know. They're going to do it on Cash App, they're going to do it on Venmo, or they're going to do it on their phone Capway. And that's huge for me, being from Mississippi. Financial education. I remember, you know, my mom, she was working at Allstate. I didn't go tell you how long ago that was. When she was working at Allstate in Mississippi, every Saturday they would have someone that would come in and do like financial education classes. I don't know if any of you who know an 18-year-old who's going to go on Saturday for a financial education class. None of them. for the most part. Unless it's an esports game or something like that, they're probably not going to get up and want to go to a financial literacy class on a Saturday. Still teach this next generation. There are ways, whether they're Gen Z, whether they're millennials, honestly, even if they're baby boomers. Mississippi, I say it in front of you all, I say it when I'm sitting in front of rooms of doing a magazine interview. Mississippi, it has the perfect opportunity of financial access and opportunity. And for me, as a founder, as a CEO, as a Terry, Mississippian native, that is my goal, is to not only, once again, for baby boomers and millennials, but this next generation, this Gen Z, the kids that you all are teaching, the kids that you all are sponsoring for economic education, will have the opportunity to change the future of Mississippi. Thank you.
So let's give her a round of applause. I'm sticking in my boots. I got 2 teenagers. They've been going quite well. He's 22. He feels like a teenager. But spot on, Sheena. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Y'all, listen, when we reached out to Sheena, we just had a conversation, and she didn't hesitate when we said, would you come back? So recognize her, please. I'm telling Selena that I do the breakdown in my church for the podium, and we've had different things. This was a little bit of a different challenge. All right, now we're going to bring up to the program Arnell Bowden, known Arnell for quite a while. With State Farm, we'll now introduce the 2020 Economics Teacher of the Year, Buster Doty, and the 2021 Economics Teacher of the Year, Sheena. Let's welcome Arnell.
Good afternoon, and certainly a hearty thank you for that introduction, my fraternity brother. This event that we're at today kind of reminds me a little bit about what Peter said to Jesus on that high mountain, especially during this post-COVID, well, we hope to be a post-COVID era. He said, Lord, it is good for us to be here. So it's an honor for me to be here today, and a distinct privilege for me to recognize 2 bright and shining stars. One in particular from the great city of lights in Canton, Mississippi, Miss Tina Ruth. And I also want to certainly recognize while I'm here, my colleagues who have joined me today with State Farm. Could they be recognized at our table? My fellow colleagues from State Farm. Thank you all for being here also. What I'd like to also say is that at State Farm, we understand the value of a good education and the value of having excellent teachers to share their knowledge with students. A part of our mission is to help create safer and more educated communities, and that starts with ensuring that our teachers are well equipped to service our students. As a financial services company, State Farm also understands that gaining knowledge on personal finance is critical for a successful future, especially in this economy. This is one of the reasons why we continue to sponsor the Master Teacher Workshops hosted by MCEE. I'm sure we can all remember a special teacher that had profound impact on our lives and helped us chart a course to success. Teachers like Tina Ruth from Canton's Ninth Grade Academy are doing just that in students' lives every day. Many of us never thought about personal finances in middle school, high school, or even college, or was even fortunate enough to have a mom like mine that took out a Christmas savings plan for us every year that we contributed to so that we can get our toys out of layaway. I see many of you thinking, what's the layaway? You don't have to Google
I know
that.
layaway.
Thankfully, students now are getting the information sooner and plan better. And we can thank the Mississippi Council on Economic Education for being a catalyst in this much needed effort. Thank you, Selena, and your team for the impact that you are having. And now it gives me another distinct privilege to present, to give you the moment that we've been waiting for, the presentation of the 2021 Teacher of the Year Award. Would you please again give these teachers a round of applause? Mm-hmm. I'd like to first of all present to Ms. Ruth. Thank you for taking the extra steps necessary to perfect your craft. Thank you for being committed to the students, your school, and your community. We all know that the saying goes, it takes a village, certainly, to raise a child. And I'd like to take a point of special privilege to recognize the community of Canton, which you all recognize the Canton community. Y'all stand up and be recognized, those who join this week from our community. I'd also like to say to you, Ms. Ruth, personally, that students will leave your class with a greater sense of what it takes to be successful in life now and in the future. So on behalf of everyone that has a student in your class and everyone in this room, I say thank you for caring enough to give your very best and not only changing student lives, but changing families for the better. Therefore, it's my distinct honor to present you with the Mississippi Council on Economic Education's 2021 Teacher of the Year Award, powered by State Farm. I'll first of all present this award to Ms. Tina Ruth. We definitely didn't want to forget about the monetary portion of that. I also have these wonderful other gifts to present to these magnificent individuals, the Echo shows, so they can certainly have video presentations with the grandkids and kids here. And I also would be remiss, certainly, if I failed to recognize our other teacher, Mr. Buster Doherty. Would you like to why don't we give him a round of applause?
Former Chair Brooks Mosley with Ballou Wealth Management, will introduce the Personal Finance Challenge Final Four, and they will also say a few words. Let's welcome Brooks.
First, again, thank y'all for supporting MCE. I got the easy job because as Sheena's speech that she gave today ties perfectly into what I get to do. I get to introduce something very positive. Before I introduce the young people, I'd like to think these kids have performed at such a high level in the personal finance challenge. They have their teacher, Miss Christy Walker, who's one of those individuals that has impacted so many lives. And she's at Germantown High School in Flagstaff, Mississippi. Christy, are you here today? Oh, there they are, right there, sticking up on me. She has been such a supporter of this group. And after hearing Sheena's talk, and in Mississippi, we do get a lot of negativity on our state, unfortunately, but there's a lot of really positive things going on. And standing behind me, this is a positive. These young people last year competed in the Personal Finance Challenge statewide. They won the state, and then they competed in the finals, and they were in the final four of the whole United States. We were making progress in Mississippi. I want to thank all the teachers. I want to introduce these folks. But it's Srinitha and Pratika Lakshmi Narana, Isaac Tolles and Cooper Word. They're going to win it this year, and y'all need to encourage them. You need to support them. And I don't know, y'all are going to speak today. Y'all pick. Okay, y'all come on.
Hey guys, thank y'all for having us today. I'm so thankful for having the Finance Challenge be something that I've been able to do in high school. It's given me a base of knowledge that I'll be able to make decisions about my financial future in a way that a lot of my classmates won't. Like, if you were to go into my class and start asking around about people who knew what the difference between an IRA and a 401k or what those things even were, I could probably count on my hand the number of people that could even tell you that. But because I've done the Finance Challenge, I'm able to know what those are, and I'm able to work from a base that I would have never been able to without the challenge. So, thank y'all.
Hello, I've been doing this since middle school along with everyone else here. This has been important for us throughout high school. 3 of us here are college bound, so next year we're going to further our education. And a lot of the times there's different things that we don't know. As we're growing up, we don't have a lot of opportunities to put these in the real world. And the Finance Challenge has given us the opportunity to be able to explore all these different facets of personal finance. We make decisions every day, and these choices are important for the long run. And it's hard to look forward into the future, but the Personal Finance Challenge has educated us to further look into our personal choices and make sure we're prepared for the future. On behalf of the rest of my team, and we say thank you to the Mississippi Council of Economic Education for giving us this opportunity and for inviting us here. I did the Finance Challenge in middle school when I was in 8th grade, and it is an honor to compete with these 3 because they have been an integral part in the Finance Challenge in Germantown High School. And they were diligent, they worked hard, and so I am proud of them, and I'm thankful to be a part of their team this year, and hopefully we'll win nationals.
I didn't really prepare anything. As kind of the rest of my team said, I thank the Mississippi Council for Economic Education for allowing us to do the Personal Finance Challenge, because they did it in middle school, but I actually wasn't on the team in middle school, and they asked me to join them when I was a freshman, and I didn't know anything about personal finance, and now I feel like I'm definitely on the right track to making good financial decisions in the future. So, yeah. Thank you.
I do want to introduce also Cindy McMullen. She just retired and ditched me at Germantown, but we both have worked with this team since 9th grade, and we've had a few come in and out since 9th grade, but I do want to, we're both still brainstorming and trying to figure this thing out, but we're going for it. hopefully.
All right. You're the only one, Cindy. No? Last chance. All right.
Hey, let's give her another round of applause. Germantown High School. They said they're college bound, and listen, one thing Mississippi has to get right is improve the brain drain. And what that is folks leaving Mississippi and not coming back. So that's something very important. So all you employers out there, remember that as these young folks go off to college, let's offer them opportunities, okay? Thank you. You can clap on that too. You can clap on that. We'll now have Derek Vance with Regions Bank to introduce the Invest Right winner, Melissa Davis. Come on up, Derek. We can. Oh, here she comes.
Good evening. Regions Bank is proud to support this event today in MCEE as they continue to increase economic and financial literacy for both our students and our educators across the state of Mississippi. Local sponsor of the stock market game. Invest Right is a writing competition associated with the stock market game where students receive a writing prompt and respond with knowledge gained by playing the stock market game. Melissa Davis, who's standing here, is a student from Northwest Ranking Middle School, wrote and entered a very impressive essay for Invest Right titled, y'all wait on this, The Importance of a Diversified Portfolio. With this essay, Melissa was the Mississippi, at the time, elementary school Invest Right overall winner last spring. I would like to present Melissa with a certificate and a cash prize for winning the competition, and she also may have a few words about winning her essay. Let's congratulate Melissa on her accomplishment.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm very awkward. Yeah, well, thank you for, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
You are welcome, Melissa. You are welcome. We'll now bring up Chris Thurman. He will introduce the Invest Right winner, Ejacia Adams. Is Ejacia here? Here she comes. While she's coming to the stage, I just want to say that Trustmark is also proud to sponsor MCEE and all the activities, and want to offer a word of congratulations to all the winners today. But just like Regions, we are a proud sponsor of the Invest Right program, our competition in the stock market game. And our high school winner in Mississippi last spring was Miss Ejacia Adams from Forest Hill High School, who also wrote a very impressive essay. And her teacher was Mr. Rod Moore. So Ejacia, you want to step forward and receive your award and then maybe share about your essay.
Thank you for having me here. It's an honor to be here with so many knowledgeable people. I'd like to thank my mother for giving me very much so very needed financial literacy knowledge, as well as my teacher, Mr. Moore, for offering such smooth knowledge throughout the pandemic and online learning. It was a very hard process, but he gave us such knowledgeable information, opportunities as far as how to further ourselves and going forward into college and things like that. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Good job, good job. Rob Moore used to be teacher at Hattiesburg High School. We need to get him back in Hattiesburg, man. Forest Hill is lucky to have him. Congratulations. Now, Wendy Clemens with Mississippi Department of Education will announce the required college and career ready course. Welcome, Wendy.
I just want to share that I'm a little awkward too. It's very intimidating to be up here. But on behalf of Dr. Carrie Wright with the Mississippi Department of Education, we are so pleased to be here to talk a little bit about the Mississippi College and Career Readiness course. This course was developed about it's developed as a one-year course to support the vision and mission of the Mississippi Department of Education, that all students graduate from high school prepared for college, career, and active citizenship. The CCR course curriculum outlines the knowledge that secondary students should obtain and the types of skills relevant for a successful transition to post-secondary in the workforce. So this course is a one-year course. The first semester of the course explores college transition, preparation for students, how to apply for financial aid, etc. But the second semester of the course deals solely with personal finance. The class of 2022 will be the first graduating class with a CCR course on all of their high school transcripts. So I want to say that, Sheena, you mentioned that we're the first and the worst, and we're always the last and the best. Well, we are the next gen personal finance, recognizes Mississippi as one of only 7 states in the U.S. that require 1 semester of personal finance to graduate from high school. Woo! This has been a goal of ours for some time, and we've finally met that goal with our senior class this year. And every class that comes up, these young students that you've seen today, they will be exposed to a semester of personal finance before they actually graduate from high school, so that they will know the difference. What did he say? A difference in an IRA and a 401k? So they'll know that. We are so proud of our partners. There's a couple of people I want to recognize. We're proud of our partners, such as our teacher, Teresa Connor from Northwest Rankin High School, who has given her entire Canvas class that every teacher in the state may use it to teach their CCR class.
Yay!
And Teresa's here today. Y'all, that's a feat. First of all, to develop your own Canvas class to teach the course, but then to travel the state and work virtually with teachers and to give that away so that all teachers can do a great job teaching their students. We're proud of that. We're also Get to College's Kirsten DeFore, who serves as Assistant Director and Project Manager, and who wrote Units 3 and 4 of the CCR course. We want to thank you for that. Heather Morrison, who's with us today, she led the efforts to develop and implement the course. And then our own Selena Schwartzfager, who led curriculum writing for the financial literacy portion of the course and implemented an in-depth summer training for CCR teachers in 2021, where teachers may earn a Master Teacher of College and Career Readiness endorsement.
Yay!
The Mississippi Department of Education is proud of its partnership with the Mississippi Council on Economic Education to prepare students for college, career, and active citizenship. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you, Wendy. Before we bring up Selena, listen, I wanted to make sure we recognize what this council is doing. Sheena, I can tell you this council has ranked in the top 3 over the last 5 years of all economic councils in the states, all 50 United States, that is. Recognize that as well. So Sheena, we're moving the needle on that number. So let's welcome our president, Selena Schwartzfager.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, y'all come on up. So we're going to show you a quick video that is associated with work that we've done this past year. I affectionately call these individuals coming to the stage as my dream team. I knew when I picked them that they would do good work, but boy, did they do good work. So will you go ahead and show our video, and then we're going to chat with you for just a minute after you watch our clips.
My name is James Wilcox, and I serve as the director of the Center for Economic and Entrepreneurship Education at the University of Southern Mississippi. So I'm one of the affiliate centers alongside the Mississippi Council on Economic Education. I've been involved with the Master Teacher programs for a number of years at this point. In 2020, all of the Master Teacher programs were conducted in person. We had done a little bit of hybrid work up to that point, but nothing was completely virtual. We had a number of conversations about how to make the Master Teacher programs more accessible, even before COVID came around, but it really kind of held us to the fire and made us do it that much quicker. And so these were already things that we knew would add value to the program, that would provide more accessibility, not only location accessibility, but also time-based accessibility for our teachers. And so there were a lot of challenges that came because we weren't ready to pull, to pull the trigger on that, to flip that switch. So the rush was probably the most challenging thing, was making it happen quickly, but in a way that maintained the integrity of the program, because there is such a value that comes from being face to face with those teachers in the same room with their peers, and there's only so much education that they're getting from us. They're also getting educated from each other as they talk about their own challenges in the classroom, and so to replicate that type of experience in the virtual world was also a fairly large challenge that we had to overcome. The Mississippi Council got this right from the very beginning by setting up a dynamic team of subject matter experts and individuals from the universities that could really speak to what the ideal programs could and should be. Working with the Mississippi Council on Economic Education has been like working with family. And it has been for a decade for me, where I've had this group of individuals with a common goal and common convictions, and we've been able to change the state and continue to do so on a daily basis.
My name is Kirsten Dufour. I am Assistant Director and Project Manager for Get to College, a program of the Woodward Hines Education Foundation. This is a partnership that we have established to support the College and Career Readiness course for high schools all across the state of Mississippi. And we've been fortunate to partner the past few years and really implement this past summer the Master Teacher of College and Career Readiness. We saw the need for more training and education across the state of Mississippi, and the opportunity to deliver this in the summer before teachers begin for the required school year of 21-22, when every high school in Mississippi is going to be required to offer this College and Career Readiness class. This partnership really allowed for more teachers to have access to that in this virtual space. The virtual training really opens up the access opportunity to get professional development really on their own time. Oftentimes it's hard for a teacher to leave the classroom, or if they do so, they have to get someone to try and cover. With the teacher shortage that's already in existence in Mississippi, it's a challenge for those teachers to get that additional professional development, which ultimately helps our students in Mississippi. My experience working this past year with Mississippi Council of Economic Education through the Master Teacher of CCR allowed Get to College to be able to connect in the classroom directly with those teachers that are teaching the content. While we've had resources there available for years, this is the first year that we've been able to connect directly with those that are delivering the content to the students. And so it bridged a gap that was in existence. While we traditionally worked at the school-wide level, this now allows us to make sure that the teachers have in their classrooms lesson plans, videos, resources at the click of their mouse to be able to deliver directly to the students. So it's really given us a lifeline for information to know that the students are getting it, and they're getting correct information, and they're getting timely information.
We ready? Okay. It's okay that you don't know what you're going to say when you get up here, because I don't really know what I'm going to say either. You know, it's just whatever seems to make sense. No, really, y'all, I wanted to just let you know that the State Council has had the Master Teacher programs since almost the inception. This organization was launched in 2002. And I'm pretty sure the Master Teacher of Economics program started in 2005. So we've been doing this work for a long time. And as James mentioned in the video, it was in the beginning, it was in person, as most things were. And so when COVID hit, we didn't want to stop what we were doing. And I'm really proud to say that the State Council did not cancel a single program when that happened. When teachers, their lives were turned upside down, students were learning from home, we did not stop what we were doing. And we received a grant from the governor's office, GEAR, so it's a grant that came to the states to help with emergency response as it needed to be done for education purposes, which allowed us to do the work that this team did this past year. Now, I am a big picture person. I can dream. Oh, I love to dream. I love to think about what's next, what happens next. But I don't want to have to do all the things to make it happen, or obviously I can't do it all on my own. And Kirsten, I don't know why you won't come up here. She's sitting back there. She was invited. At least her picture is up here. Yeah, come on, Kirsten. And so what I did was, my strengths are that I did put together a fabulous team. So let me introduce to you, and I'm going to turn around here so I can see them. And we're actually way ahead of schedule, so they may even have a chance to say a couple of words. So we have Tawny Ferrarini. She is actually one of our out-of-state team members. She is my program manager for this program. And then we have Teresa Connor, and you heard about her earlier. She's a teacher at Northwest Rankin High School, but she's also an instructor now for MCEE. We have Gabby Ezeguera, and I know that wasn't even close, but she can correct me. She's also from out of state. You're in Michigan. You know, the thing about COVID is you can be working with people all over the country and not even really know where they live. But we were together a lot on Zoom. Then you have Brandon Bowen, and he's an economics professor at Mississippi College. And then we have Claire Luke, and she is with the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, and she's based in New Orleans. And then, of course, James Wilcox, who's at Southern Miss, and he's the center director there. And Kirsten, she snuck up here. You know her because she was on the video. But we are so delighted to be working with Get to College. This is our first partnership. Yeah, so I'm really proud of that. And then Jeanette Bennett, who is not here, she works with the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, based in Memphis. Hey, Jeanette. I think she's online watching us. But this team, what they did, I haven't even told you what they did. What they did was they took all of our master teacher programs and got them online with good quality virtual content that teachers can use regardless of the format in which they're teaching. So if they're virtual, if they're in class, if they're hybrid, it doesn't matter. They are now equipped to teach economics, personal finance, entrepreneurship, and college and career readiness, regardless of the format of the teaching. We have a lot of master teachers that are here. You got to recognize them at the beginning of lunch. Not only, though, are they prepared to teach, but they created student courses based in Canvas which is a learning management system, and the teachers can simply take that content and basically, I'm going to oversimplify it, but plop it down into their classroom and not have to recreate the wheel. So we want our teachers spending their time doing the best teaching they can do and not have to spend a lot of time researching curriculum. So we've taken that and made it much easier for them. They did it. How long did I give y'all? Not long at all. Less than a year, which if you can, I know you probably can't even comprehend what that means, but they started in December. They launched the Master Teacher programs in June, and the student courses were ready to go in August. So this is quite a feat. I'm so proud of them and thankful for this team. Does anybody want to say anything? Tawny, you're our leader. Why don't you step up here and just give a little...
Well, I feel like I need to say y'all because you have been saying that so much. So Mississippi, y'all, we heard the call. And Selena, because she is such an incredible part of the national network, she called me up, sent me an email, and she goes, the chances are low, but let's try. And everything I do is research driven, and I look at how you take the technology to lift the teachers up to become the best versions of themselves while connecting with those students in meaningful, purposeful ways so that they go beyond what's required of them in the classroom and they connect with each other through the technology. And I say to her, now I didn't know I said what I said yes to, but 2 weeks before Christmas, we find out we get this. We all got together, rolled up our sleeves, and said, we're going to do this. We're going to do it for Mississippi. If it hadn't been through the leadership of Selena, the Mississippi Council, and these incredible content providers throughout the state of Mississippi, I don't think that this could have happened. So I extend a thanks to all of them, but most importantly, I extend a thanks to all of you sitting in the audience today, because you are what provided the spirit, the passion, and the excitement. And we turned away from so many family events, and we stayed home from different things because we knew we were doing something meaningful. So celebrate your successes, forget about the things, the hiccups in life. You've got an amazing group of teachers, and more importantly, you've got an incredible generation of students in the pipeline. So thank you for letting me be a small part, and special thanks to everybody on the team. Thanks.
Hey, y'all. Let's go do it again. This is a big deal, y'all. It's a big deal, y'all. Alan, Jessica, y'all come up here for a minute. Selena, come on. Oh. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm not going to sign your paycheck. Come on. Run. Come on. Briefly, I just really think it's important so you can see who really does the work. She makes, or this team makes the board look good. As we were recruiting new board members, I had a prospective board member that asked me, well, how much work is involved? And she kept asking that question. Well, how much work is involved? I said, well, listen, we need your company to donate. We're going to ask you to ask your friends to donate. And there's some networks that you have in Hinds County that you can help us with. But listen, I say that to say, this is our staff at MCEE. Listen, Allie, Jessica, and Selena, let's recognize them for what they do for our children. And look, with that note, you can stand up. Come on, keep clapping. Give them a round of applause.
And listen, we thank you for being here and supporting the mission of MCEE. Thank you, God bless. Have a great afternoon.
You got to sit down and finish eating. Yes, sir. Hey, you should have been by yourself. We'll wait on you. No, wait on me.
If you were recognized today, will you please come up front? We need to take some pictures. So our students, our State Farm agents, Trustmark Regions, all of you people that were on the program, please come forward.
Thank you. Thank you. I think everybody did good.